first sweep of the season. Hi, everyone. Happy Easter. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. Joel Goldberg and Jeff Montgomery are coming up. Dayton Moore, Dave Eiland, Ned Yost all raised some eyebrows during the offseason when they said this will be the best starting rotation we've had during the current run. And the Royals have the best ERA in the major leagues, and boy, have they been good in the last three.
One of the reasons on this current run that they're doing so well is they're competing against each other. That's good when you have internal competition. That means passing the winning baton to the next guy the next day. Vargas, he's been the leader in his 2 starts. He's been fantastic. We all know Danny Duffy. He could win a Cy Young this year. You just never know. The pitching has been solid. Carnes last night looked great. His first 2 starts been very impressive. Now look, you can't win without defense. That's the Royals' signature. You love that. Carnes is learning. Every new pitcher that's come in here have learned how to tip their caps to the finest gloves in the land.
Well, then let's talk about defense when we come back. About the Royals starting pitching, and now let's talk about the role of the defense. There's that old saying that you can have good defense and bad pitching, but you cannot have good pitching and bad defense.
I would agree with that, and I think our fans would too. How much fun do we have coming to the ballpark watching this team of athletes? That's what they are. They're athletic, but they've learned how to play their position. They know all the nooks and crannies, especially that first baseman, Haas. Look at the attention to detail here. Everything fundamentally sound. Athleticism, Escobar's quickness. You got Mondesi's range. It's all over the place, and believe me, that's why the starting staff is looking so good.
And it's been a good week for the bullpen, in particular Joakim Soria. Joel and Monty will discuss the Royals pen when we come back.
Series finale, Easter Sunday, and the Royals and Angels getting set to do battle here on the field. Joel Goldberg, Royals Hall of Famer Jeff Montgomery, you always talk about the bullpen taking a while to settle in the beginning of a season. What did you see the first week plus?
Well, no doubt about it. The first week of the season, this bullpen struggled, and I think they were a big reason why the Royals really struggled early with the record. Now this past week, I think things now may be starting to settle in a little bit, and if you look at every season, it's almost like you have to kind of shuffle the deck and re-figure out what's going to happen, who's going to be in what roles. Now Joakim Soria maybe is answering one of those really big questions. You got to be happy with what we've seen the last week.
Well, that was high leverage last night too. Game on the line. What made him so effective?
Well, I just think the variety of pitches he threw. He froze Albert Pujols on a 3-2 fastball in the middle part of the plate. Really a big moment in the game, and Kelvin Herrera come in and getting his second save. I think those two guys can be critical elements for this bullpen.
And for Herrera too, he had blown a save last Sunday, had a save earlier in the week but gave up a homer, but last night 1-2-3 was lights out. That's the bullpen that the Royals need as they look for the sweep here on a glorious Sunday afternoon. Fans are ready for baseball, so are we. Ryan and Rex are back with the call after this.
Kansas City is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. By Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Ford, going further so you can. Well, we've had a Salvi splash the last two games. The Royals have won 3 in a row. Will we see another one today? The Royals go for their first sweep of 2017. Silverado, the most dependable, longest lasting full-size pickup on the road, and you can find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. By Panera Bread, Panera caters for every group, every size, every meal. And by Thoroughbred Ford, every day there's a great deal waiting for you at Thoroughbred Ford. Well, glad to have the Pope here with us on this Easter Sunday. I think that's a good omen.
I feel a lot better.
Okay. And like a good fan, he's brought his glove. 65 degrees. We had some very heavy thunderstorms blowing through last night. And that's cooled things down quite a bit. Wind blowing out of the east-northeast. Mike Scioscia's Angels had won 4 straight, and now after losing the first 2 here in KC, they've lost 4 straight, so they're back at 500 at 6-6. And the Angels arrived with the highest team batting average in the American League, but they have been held to 3 runs on 10 hits in the first 2 games and no extra base hits. Going up against Ian Kennedy, who is making his 3rd start and looking for his first win of the year.
Yeah, he's due, and it might just come today. I mean, you know, that great pitching out does great hitting any day of the week. Vargas taking that winning baton from the previous 3. Vargas, Duffy, Carnes got his hands full. They only gave up 2 earned runs in 20 2/3 innings, just 11 hits. It's going to happen today, but Kennedy can man that fastball, keep the ball in the yard. That's going to be a key for him. Forward around the horn, Royals defense. We'll highlight a couple of young players here that like to get a chance to play once, maybe twice a week. And when you do and play that infrequent, it's very difficult because of timing. This is a timing game. So if you just do one good thing in the game, whether make a good defensive play or get 1 hit, you've had a good game. That's how hard this game is to play every day, let alone once a week.
There's our crew chief, Jerry Meals, in his 21st year as a big league umpire. He'll be at first base. Chris Conroy is behind the plate. Ron Kolpa at second, and Ed Hickox is at third. And we are ready to go with Yunel Escobar, who was one of the hottest hitters in the league when this series began. But now in his last 3 games, he is hitting .059.
You know, it's just amazing how this game goes. You're hot one week, you're cold the next, but it all evens out. But you got to credit the Royals pitching. They've made a big difference in shutting their bats down. Fastball, changeup, slider, curve. He's going to throw majority fastballs, and it's not overpowering, but it's a good one. And it seems to be overpowering at times as he gets a lot of spin on the fastball, and it appears to the hitter that it's maybe a little bit above the belt, maybe a little riser. Tardy.
Bright day. Mixture of sun and clouds, and Kane takes care of Escobar. 1 down. Kia puts us in the driver's seat, and now the baton has been handed to Ian Kennedy. Royal starters now have the lowest ERA in the major leagues, not just the American League. They have allowed 4 home runs as a group. They have the lowest slugging percentage. They have only allowed 9 extra base hits.
What a beautiful sight to see those statistics there on the rotation. Kennedy, you know, he's going to give you a fastball to hit, though. I love how he challenges people.
Ben Revere with 1 out. 1 ball, 1 strike. Revere tied the game late last night with 2 outs in the 7th inning, driving in Cameron Maben to tie the game at 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Just setting up Mike Moustakas, 1 out home run in the 8th to with the Royals in front for a 3-2 win.
Little high cheese coming. Now when
he laid off it.
When you're the fourth pitcher after that 3-game win streak, you don't want to be that guy that gives it up. So that's what's driving him. The other 3 that came before him. And that's pressure, internal pressure, which is good.
There's 2 of the guys right there. Vargas started this string, then Duffy, then Nate Carnes. On the ground, Hosmer to a knee, and he'll get to the bag in front of Revere. 2 down. So Mike Trout comes to the plate with nobody on base. That's always a good idea. Our Kubota power stats. He is a much more dangerous hitter. He's still a good hitter when he's at Kauffman Stadium, but when the Royals and Angels meet up in Orange County, he hits just under 400 with a slugging percentage just under 850. A few years ago, he hit one of the longest home runs in Kauffman Stadium history. Deep into the fountains, just to the left of straightaway center field. The fans in red are very easy to pick up today. There are 1, 2, 3, 11 of them.
I see 10 on the right side down the line here. Ooh, man.
Good spot.
That's exactly where you want to put that. Last night, that was a strike.
A few times. 3-1. Pujols is on deck. Mike Trout has 14 hits. 8 of those have been for extra bases.
Loves the lower part of the zone. Stay above the belt on him. Ooh, that's his spot.
Which is kind of odd because usually when a hitter holds his hands high, he's a better high ball hitter than he is a low ball hitter. And the reverse is true. A hitter with his hands low are usually better at balls down. But yeah, you're right. You pitch him down, man, and like a golfer with a 3-iron, he'll go out and drive it anywhere out of the ballpark.
Humble superstar. Not afraid to look you in the eye and say, hey, how you doing today? A lot of guys don't do that.
Challenged him. Fastball at 94. Kennedy strikes out Mike Trout and finishes out the Angels 1-2-3 in the first inning. Will the Royals score in the first for a 4th consecutive game? They're coming up. First inning, Ned Yost has made some changes to the lineup. Mike Moustakas will get the day off, so Lorenzo Cain will bat second. Salvador Perez is the DH today. Chesler Cuthbert is at third. Christian Colon will play second base, and Drew Butera is behind the plate against 26-year-old left-hander Tyler Skaggs, who is off to a rough start. He has allowed 10 earned runs in 10 1/3 innings over 2 starts. He has struck out 10.
No, he's got good stuff. 5 walks, too. Command issues. So, you know, might want to be a little bit careful. Be selective. Up there at the plate. See if he can throw you strikes. If he can't, spit on him and get on base. Just like Alex has been doing. When leading off an inning this year, Alec has a .400 on-base percentage. Uh-oh. Backswing got him. Ouch. Carlos Perez. That's happened before with him, I'm sure. That's why you wear that helmet. Ding dong. Oof. You believe that there were some catchers back in the day that didn't wear a helmet or anything, just put their cap on?
Trout into left center field, 1 down in the bottom of the first. And now Lorenzo Cain. Lorenzo digs in with a 5-game hitting streak. And he's hitting just under .600 in his last 5 games, 10 for his last 17. On base percentage is over .500, .511. 2-0 against Skaggs.
Better throw Locaine strikes or he'll take his free base. Fastball, curve, changeup. Mainly a 2-pitch guy. Big curve. In his last start, 52 fastballs, 23 curves. Only 4 changeups. Big kid, 6'5", 225.
C.J. Cron is going out from first base and into foul ground for the second out.
There's some halo defense for you right there now. Carlos Perez throwing out 3 of 7 base runners this year. Good arm. You know, Royals do steal. Got to have that combination between the pitcher and catcher. Get that ball home quickly to have that success. Cole Calhoun, Trout. Combination out there and right in center.
This is what Skaggs did to the Royals the last time they saw him here at Kauffman Stadium, July 26th. 3 hits over 7 innings, no runs, 5 strikeouts. Hosmer didn't get a very good swing. It was his first start since 2 seasons prior to that. He had gone on the disabled list and had Tommy John surgery, and it took him a little longer than normal to come back. So just wanting to get in a big league game, just wanting to feel healthy on the mound, help his team win, and he did more than that.
He's got
2 on Hosmer.
He's got some good stuff, but what makes him so deceptive is his long limbs, his arms and legs, and he's going to show them all to you. Big windup, and you know that makes it a little more difficult to pick up that release point. That's what the hitter looks for.
Perez isn't able to hold on, and Hosmer's still alive.
Sometimes you get lulled to sleep with that big windup.
26 years old, 6'4", 225 pounds. And into center field, a base hit for Hosmer with 2 down.
Take that, Shift. If the Angels were playing straight up, that's an easy out, but they're not. They thought he was going to pull the ball a little bit more. And Hosmer really he's a mid to opposite field hitter. But you know that they go over those spray charts, those hitting charts, and they go up based on where their pitcher's trying to pitch. Yeehaw! Look at her. What a beauty.
Salvi's the DH today. Changeup is outside. Salvi lost an 8-game hitting streak last night. He hit 5 home runs. All 5 of his home runs during that hitting streak.
It'd be nice if somebody get on base for him for one of those.
1-1.
Hard to tell where the wind's blowing today, Rhino. Is it me or is it the flags?
I think it's.
Is it coming in?
Yeah, it's blowing in, and that would be east northeast. We had a steady wind out of the south. We had all those warm days, and then those heavy thunderstorms last night. Dropped a lot of rain on Kansas City, cooled the city down, and now a cooler wind. Past the diving Escobar, and the Royals have a pair of 2-out hits.
Like the crowd here. They're alive. Huh? That base hit there by Salvi, man, they just erupted. I mean, that's beautiful. Salvi's a popular player here, no doubt. But usually, they're waiting for the big fly. It's okay. We'll see. We'll take one here from Cuthbert. Skaggs has given up 3 bombs already. 310 opponents average. Finding too much at the middle of the plate.
Up and away to Chesler. Appearing in this series for the first time. He is 0 for 4 on the homestand. Over the outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Mike Trout is playing over. There's a lot of room right out here on that side out there in that left center field gap. You split that gap, you'll score Salvi from first.
One and 2. Royals are having a tough time in the first 2 weeks, hitting with 2 outs. Very low batting average and not scoring many runs. That was a Royals strength.
Yep.
Just when you think the inning was over, and many times the Royals had rallies with 2 outs and nobody on, as they have in this inning. That's a swing. So with 2 outs and nobody on today, the Royals get back-to-back singles. Cuthbert does not think he went around. And so Hosmer and Perez are stranded. Easter Sunday at Kauffman Stadium. No score at the end of 1. 500. A reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Ian Kennedy faced 3 and retired 3 in the first, ending the inning with a strikeout against Mike Trout. Ball 1 to Albert Pujols, followed by Cole Calhoun and C.J. Cron. Fastball is pulled foul. Kennedy, in his typical fashion, very aggressive with his fastball. He's thrown 19 pitches, and 16 of those 19 have been fastballs.
Not surprised. Loves that pitch, and why shouldn't he?
Look out.
Albert has no trouble turning on a heater. Ooh. Yeah. Believe me, when you see who's starting the next night, as these players just live day to day, they know, they look at what they're hitting off that guy.
Great catch.
Yeah, on the line.
What, do you bring a catcher's glove with him?
He's a Hall of Famer, or kind of Hall of Fame.
How about that? Brought his catcher's glove with him. Pulled it out to Cuthbert. 1 down. Sunday afternoon at Kauffman Stadium, Family Fun Day Sundays presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Before the game, kids enjoy face painters and activities at the outfield experience, and then player autographs on top of the Royals dugout at Signature Sundays. And then after the game, kids 14 and under can run the bases in the Kansas City Zoo Fun Run.
Beautiful Easter dresses. Like them. Where do you go, Mom? Girls look beautiful. So do you, by the way. In her royal
Thank you, Hud.
blue. Yeah.
Oh, you meant the mom?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But you don't look too bad yourself.
Yeah.
Got a little some Easter colors
We
on.
wore our pastels today.
We did.
Yeah. Okay.
Wear a robe.
That's
if you'd
another.
like.
That's another choice for an outfit on
Right.
Sunday. I mean, who would not want to get their picture taken with a Jesus impersonator on Easter? On his way to heaven, he stopped at Kauffman Stadium to take in a Royals game.
That's right. Cole Calhoun. Been struggling a little bit here against the Royals.
And that will continue. He is 0 for 7 in the series. And over a longer stretch, he is 4 for his last 41 against the Royals.
Nice player, though. Full of energy. And you know, he helps Mike Trout in center. Ron Renicky, third base coach for the Royals.
Angels.
Excuse me, Angels was telling me that. He was saying, you know, Calhoun, I know he's your kind of guy, Hud, but he helps Trout. I said, oh, what does he energize him? Yeah, he fires him up. He keeps him going. There's energy givers and there's energy takers, believe me, in all walks of life, and especially on the baseball field.
Energy givers, energy takers, and energizer bunnies.
That's right. There's some there, but they don't have a lot of energy in them right now. They're just sitting. Oh,
C.J. Cron to the wall. Kane's got it. Banging into the center field wall, and that deserves a tip of the cap.
C.J. Cron says, really? Hit a ball 410 feet, got nothing to show for it but an out.
Beginning of our broadcast today, talking about Royals starting pitching. Ian Kennedy has 2 perfect innings, and Royals defense.
Yeah, and I'll agree with our caption. Great catch. Because on contact, I'm thinking there's no way you're going to be able to get to that. That ball was smoked at 108 miles an hour off of C.J. Cron's bat. But Locane, whenever he takes the most direct routes I've ever seen. He never gets discombobulated out there. And on line drives right over your head, those are the most difficult ones to catch. But yet he turns the right way and catches them 9 out of 10 times.
Oh, 1 on Paulo Orlando. Broke his bat, and Pennington makes the play at short.
Now that pitch was inside, but Paulo was trying to direct it back up the middle. He swung the bat a lot better last night.
Yeah,
he looks like he's coming back.
I think the last 2 or 3 games he's had a better path to the ball. Escobar with 1 out. There's a good swing. 1 hop to Cole Calhoun. And Esky's on with 1 out.
That's the Escobar that Ned Yost wants to see. See how he waited? Let the ball travel deep. Outside corner. Hit it exactly the way you want it to. Perfect. Oh, man, that feels good, too.
Christian Colon on for the first time on this homestand. And Skaggs is staying out there against the right-hand batters. Last year, Colon spent 54 games with the Royals, also spent significant time at AAA Omaha. And outside again, 2-0. And the Royals felt that Colon made the club at a spring training, and factoring into their final decision, not just that he was out of options, but the Royals really feel like Colon can handle not playing for a significant length of time and still being able to help the team when he gets in there. And you can speak to that. You have brought that up many times in the years we've been working together. First, about how hard it is to pinch hit or come in late in the game as a defensive replacement, or go 4, 5, 6 days not being in the lineup, and then there you are.
Because of those traits that you mentioned, makes Colon a commodity. Not only to his manager, but others that are out there. They can count on this guy. You want him. And as long as there's still a designated hitter in the American League, and there's a National League where a pitcher hits, there's opportunities for this man in the National League as well. So that's where you come off the bench. You can goof around the first 5 innings on the bench if you want to, but then after that you better start getting serious in the National League, because they're going to pinch hit for the pitcher. Now Colon's a perfect fit for the Royals. I'm just saying he's got multiple opportunities to continue his career. Way to eyeball him.
But to your point, he will be a much more useful player on a regular basis when the Royals are playing in the National League cities. So, for the second time in as many innings, the Royals have 2 base runners. We need to sign that little girl up for Sluggers Blue Crew. This year's membership includes a Blue Crew jersey, flat bill cap, special edition earbuds, Royals eye black, 2 home game ticket vouchers, and more, all for just $30. And you can sign up right now at Royals.com/Blue Crew. We got about a month to go in the school year. Have the kids outfitted and ready to go when summer rolls around. 2 on, 1 out. Drew Butera takes ball 1, and now Carlos Perez out to have a chat with Tyler Skaggs.
saying, come on now. He's your number 9 hitter. And the top of the order is coming up here. You don't want to get yourself into more hot water here. Let's go. Come on in here. Drew wants to keep his hands inside of this baseball so he stays out of rolling over into a double play. Hit the ball to the right side. Move the runners in, over and in. And you know, he's showing some pop. Drew had a good spring training. Got some pop in that bat. Don't let that carry you away here.
In the first inning, the Royals had a pair of 2-out singles, and then Skaggs struck out Cuthbert. And now with 1 out, a single and a walk. He was taking a shot at right field, and the count is 1-2. King Richard and Queen Sam. Loud, proud Royals crowd. That's a new one. That was the pitch that got Cuthbert to end the bottom of the first inning. 2-2 on Butera.
Don't you think that Major League Baseball should choose the Royals to go to London and play the exhibition game in Europe? I mean, in England?
Just because of their name?
They're Royal,
Yeah.
right? Don't you think that'd be popular? They're talking about doing that.
2-2.
Plus, you know, world champions a couple years ago. I'm sure they have some fans in London, England. The commissioners wanting to grow the game all over the world. Drew wants to give Kennedy a lead here.
2-2.
There you go, George. Way to make a fan happy. That's right. 1 out.
Fouled away again. Okay, I've got it figured out. Royals and the Phillies.
All right.
Royals, just to show respect,
Right.
for being in London.
Okay.
And Philadelphia as a reminder.
Okay.
Got him with a fastball up.
It's good AB though for Brew. He saw some pitches. Yeah. 8 pitches, good deal. But you know, he's a little anxious.
You know, looking at that little spray chart right there, if you will, of the pitches to Butera, I mean, there was nothing consistent about Skaggs there. He'd be a tough guy to face because he is, as they say, effectively wild in the first 2 innings today. Really can't hone in on one part of the strike zone. Delayed call, a strike to Alex. Escobar at second, Colon at first, 2 down. One ball, 1 strike. So this is what Drew Butera saw in his 8-pitch at bat against Skaggs.
Teaser.
I mean, he hit just about every area in and out of the strike zone.
And you could see by the yellow tail on those pitches that the ball's coming into the right-hander, and that's a little bit easier to hit. No ball coming into you. Then if you're Alex and you're on the other side of the plate, that ball going away from you is harder to hit because you want to pull, your tendencies to pull your front shoulder off, and the job of the pitcher is to keep you off balance, and that's what they do. They throw that breaking ball away from you. They don't want you to hit it.
And got him, and hitting with 2 outs continues to be a struggle for the Royals in the first 2 weeks. Royals has stranded 4 in the first 2 innings. Giants are in town for a 2-game series on Tuesday, which is our first T-shirt Tuesday. The first 10,000 fans through the gates receive this Haas T-shirt, courtesy of the Kansas City State Company. To view all T-shirt Tuesday designs for the season and to get tickets, go to Royals.com/T-shirt Tuesday. The Haas. Danny Espinosa takes a strike. Ian Kennedy has set down the first 6 Angels today. Espinosa is batting just .214, but he's made the most of his hits. No balls and 2 strikes. He has 9 hits, but 12 RBIs, which ties him for the league lead with the Rangers' Nomar Mazara and the Indians' Jose Ramirez, who is big sensation for the Indians last year. Breakout season, got a contract extension during the offseason. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Espinosa, who's a switch hitter, then Pennington, a switch hitter, and then right-hand hitting Carlos Perez coming up. Got him looking. So Kennedy set down the first 7 with 2 strikeouts. 1 down in the 3rd, and let's find Joel.
All right, Ryan, down here by the dugout, and down below is the hottest guy on the Royals right now. That would be Bill Duplessis, who handles all of the replays. We saw him get another one last night on this play at first base. You know, I was talking to him, guys, and he said that it's that 30-second process, but he's probably a good 10 seconds ahead or more, anticipating things before they happen. So if you have a speedy hitter like a Gerard Dyson type or a Raul Mondesi hitting a high chopper, he's already guessing that there might be some kind of play that needs to be reviewed. And even to the point where if there's a play that looks like it's going to happen, he's pausing all of his machines before the final result. He doesn't even know what the umpire called. He might have Mark Topping, who's sitting alongside of him, the video coach for the team, tell him safe or out. By the time he gets that call from Don Wakamatsu, he might need a few more seconds, but he usually has it. And guys, I know that HUD calls him the replay connoisseur, but when you led the league last year at 69% and you're 5 for 5 so far this year, I would call him the best in baseball. And as he said to me today, got to keep it going, got to stay hot.
Thanks, Joel.
How about that?
That's all right. I'm used to it. It happens all the time.
The research connoisseur. That word's too big.
Replay.
Oh,
Connoisseur of replay.
Those words are too big for me to make
Yeah,
up.
I know. Every time I come up with a nickname, you get credit for it. What's that all about?
Well, Joel just told me. I didn't know that I did that.
You know what is fascinating talking to Duper is how much he has learned about our business, which is helpful because, yeah, you're looking for the best angle, but getting back to Joel's point, the anticipation, knowing the camera angles, all that exist. Another called third strike on a fastball. And I think that separated the better replay guys from, let's say, the teams that struggled in that area were the ones like Bill Duplessis who learned the business. What are the angles that are available to me? Which one do I want to go to first? Which one do I want to go to second?
Right.
And able to, you know, speed up that process. It's fascinating sitting down with him and going over a play where he asked for a challenge or didn't ask for a challenge. The process that he went through deciding, you know, what to look at. It's much more than just, you know, staring at the game and rewinding a few seconds back. And
no, and what I like about him, and is it partner in there,
Mark Topping, who
Topper
is the who just got promoted, by the way, to video coach.
Oh. Okay. Did you make up that term?
No, Joel did.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, they're passionate. They love what they do. It's not like you run into them. We don't see them all that often, but they just go, hey. They're like, hey, what's up, guys? You know, they have energy. They're energy givers.
Right.
Hey, Ryan, I got to apologize, too, because I don't always hear everything. I'm moving all around. I always wondered how HUD came up with such a big word.
Yeah, no, you got to know that's out of my league. Play it. Ooh, okay.
Right into the wind. So Paulo had to adjust for that. 9 up, 9 down for Ian Kennedy. He has struck out 3. No score to the bottom of the third. A pediatrician in Kansas City began volunteering for Camp Hope in 2000. That's a camp created in order to provide kids with cancer a normal summer camp experience. After losing their sponsorship a few years ago, Brian helped establish a new nonprofit dedicated to continue the legacy of the camp. And in just 2 short years, not only has the nonprofit grown enough to ensure the camp's future, but has added additional services for families affected by childhood cancer. Brian is sitting in the Buck O'Neil legacy seat on this Easter Sunday.
Way to go, Brian. Thank you, buddy. Yeah. Gotta have people like you.
Kane fouled out to first in the first inning. Tyler Skaggs has pitched himself in and out of trouble in the first 2 innings. He allowed two out singles in the first, and then a 1 out single and a walk in the second. And he's finished off the first 2 innings with strikeouts. A little bit low, 2 balls and 1 strike. Lorenzo Cain, our Toyota League leaders, tied for second in average, walks, leads the league in on base percentage, and leads the league in infield hits. And we discussed this last night. Many of those with 2 strikes, just by avoiding the strikeout and putting the ball in play and using his legs. He has 5 infield hits.
Believe it, he can do it all.
And he's on to begin the 3rd inning. That's Skaggs' second walk. Hosmer singled to center with 2 down in the 1st inning. He has driven in 3 on this homestand. Big breaking ball that came out of the sky. 0-1.
Yeah, well, being a 2-pitch pitcher mainly like Tyler Skaggs is, you can sit on one or the other. Now, it's not easier to sit on the fastball. It's straighter, it's easier to make contact with. But that big curve, you can sometimes go up there and say, I'm going to look for a hanger, but most times not. You're going to look for that heater, one or the other.
Cain was leaning toward second base. Trying to read Skaggs' move, and Skaggs gave him a little different look. Another big curveball. 0-2.
Tells me Haas is looking for his fastball. You know, manager Mike Scioscia, longest tenured manager in the American League. Now look at him. He's going through the signs. He's not done. He's going to put up a sequence of numbers, and he's telling his catcher Carlos Perez if he wants him to pitch out, if he wants him to throw over to first base. Managers run that side of the game for the pitcher and catcher, so they don't have to worry about it.
Here's the fastball, but it's off the plate.
It's just something else that you know, if you were calling those yourself, you'd have to be thinking about. It's hard enough to manipulate your way through a major league hitter, let alone having to worry about, well, what should I do with this guy? So the manager makes it easy for you. Now, whenever there's a funky sign like that, it means he's thrown over.
Cain read it all the way.
Yeah, and you know, middle infielder being, you have to know the signs too. It's important that you do. So you can tell if it's going to be an off-speed pitch, you might maybe want to play a little bit more over or something, or maybe you might take a step or so to the pull side. But they're continuing to try to see if they can pick off Lorenzo.
He got back.
Yeah, very nice.
And C.J. Cron, the first baseman, had no argument. Mike Scioscia wants his replay coordinator to take a look at it. But C.J. Cron certainly did not turn to the Angels dugout and say, check it out him.
No, he was definitely going to go on first movement. Look at how he goes to the far back side of the bag. That's what saved him. Good call by Jerry Meals. Jerry got in good position.
Nice crowd today, and most are saying I did not decide to spend my Easter Sunday here to watch the pitcher and the first baseman play catch.
Yeah, no. They'd like to see Haas put one in the hydration station.
Still 1-2.
Got his heater. Beautiful sight. All that blue and green. Great day.
Got him looking at a fastball, and no argument from Hosmer. 4 strikeouts for Skaggs.
Four-seamer right over the top, straight as a string. Haas is saying rats.
Is there a worse feeling as a hitter when it's one thing to get jelly-legged, as we like to say, by a breaking ball or something like that, but when you're looking for a fastball and you get it and you weren't expecting it.
Yeah, you kind of lock up. Yeah, that's a bad feeling. There's a few bad feelings that hitters go through, especially C.J. Cron. When Locaine ran that missile down, hit 108 mile an hour. You can't square a ball up any better than that. And and he's running to first base saying, "Yeah, I got extra bases here." And then he hears the crowd. Kennedy needs a lead.
That is a big breaking ball. Wouldn't quite put it in the Barry Zito category.
No.
That thing comes out of the top of the scoreboard. 1-2. Salvi single to left in the first inning. Skaggs was a first-round pick of the Angels back in '09, then traded to Arizona in a deal for Dan Herron when Herron was in his prime, and then back to the Angels in a deal for Mark Trumbo. So he has always been a pitcher held in very high regard, thought of as a top of the rotation type of a guy. We mentioned the Tommy John surgery a few seasons ago. He is from Santa Monica, California. He was on his way to Cal State Fullerton before signing with the Angels, and was an Angels fan. Skips away from Perez, and Lorenzo Cain was right on it. There was no chance for Perez to throw out Lorenzo, but Cain got a great read. He didn't need to wait and see how far that was going to bounce away. As soon as it hit the dirt, he was gone.
No, that's an excellent reaction, because that big curve you've been talking about how big it is. Once it bounces, you never know with that type of overhand spin where it's going to bounce or not. And he advanced. Now we'll see if Salvi can get him home. Locked him up.
So you got Hosmer looking at a fastball. You got Perez looking at a curveball. And you got to give Skaggs credit there. He and Perez are not only coming up with a pitch with a good location, but they're coming up with pitches that the hitters are not expecting. So a good game plan on their part.
Yep. You know, getting back to Angels liking Skaggs, well, you love a guy that's this big. He's bigger pitchers are more durable, especially starting pitchers. You like him to be strong and big, so they can eat up innings and the endurance part of the game and what it takes to pitch. 6'5", 225, he's perfect size.
Cuthbert was up there with 2 on and 2 out in the first inning and struck out on an abbreviated swing. He did not think he went around, and it's very rare to see Chesler show some emotion, but he was not happy. Bounced his helmet in the dirt, threw his bat down. Chesler's about as level-headed and even-keeled as anybody on the Royals roster, but he had an opportunity to drive and run with 2 outs and probably felt like he had his at-bat taken away from him.
Yeah, you mentioned how what bothers hitters. You know, some things do. That's just one of the many things that you mentioned.
Changeup, but very rare changeup.
If the hitter that can block out the negative emotion and the negativity is better off. You have to have the ability to turn the page quickly. Can't let things linger.
Big breaking ball, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Usually when you start sitting on that breaking ball, it's about the 3rd time through if the pitcher's still in the game. That's when you get a gauge on it after you've seen it a few times. And when it starts up around your shoulders, it's going to be a good pitch to hit. That's the release point of a left-hander's curveball. Now if it starts out a little bit lower around the letters of the belt, just spit on it because it's going to be in the dirt. But you can recognize a hanger. Not that that's a good spot. That's a great location for that breaking ball. And in order to get the fastball, you got to keep doing that. Spit on that one. He might have earned him a 3-2 heater here. Let's see if he comes with it.
He is also going to throw his 60th pitch. So the Royals haven't scored yet, but they're making Skaggs throw about 20 pitches per inning, which gets them closer to the bullpen. Another breaking ball for a called 3rd strike. The Royals get a leadoff walk, and then Skaggs strikes out the next 3, all looking.
Got to take a hack. If you don't hack, they'll send you back. Foul it off.
Fourth inning, the Royals are going for a sweep over the Angels today. All right, parents, here's your child's opportunity of a lifetime, helping run a Major League Baseball game if they enter our Kids Run the Show contest presented by Wonder Bread and Price Chopper. It's coming up on Sunday, July 2nd, and your child could have a variety of responsibilities like assisting with select game day positions, junior team photographer, a K crew member, TV broadcaster, sorry HUD,
that's all right,
grounds crew member, and other positions. The application deadline is May 3rd. So sign the kids up at Royals.com/kids run the show. A great day here at the ballpark.
Yeah, let's bring them up here. Let's meet them. Let's encourage him.
Ian Kennedy has 3 perfect innings. And now he's 3-0 on Yunel Escobar, who flied to center field to begin the game. and a 4-pitch walk. So the Angels get their first base runner. And on this Easter Sunday, yeah, you can get a birthday shout out. Happy 8th birthday.
Yeah, 8 is great. Way to go, young man. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, you believe it.
You're making it very clear how old he is today.
There's a lot of birthdays out there. Matter of fact, the great Sammy's niece, Hallie Higginson, is 16 today. She deserves a little shout out. Happy birthday, Hallie.
Fouled away by Ben Revere. And Danny Duffy asked us if we would wish his father Dan a happy birthday today. Now, only because Danny gave us the number, we're going to reveal it, but Dan is 61 today.
Happy 61st, Dan.
Hope he's having a
grand Dan.
Enjoying a pleasant day out in California. And he's one of our favorites, going back to Danny's first big league win in Oakland. I mean, Dan gets into it.
I remember that.
I've mentioned this before, and Danny has so many fans here in Kansas City for good reason. And normally when you come across a really good kid, I say kid, and then you meet their parents and you know exactly why. And Dan and Deanna are just wonderful human beings. And I mentioned this before. If you get a chance, read Vahe Gregorian's piece on Danny Duffy and his family and his upbringing. Raised by 2 parents who loved the game, had a career in law enforcement. Really, really a great story. So happy birthday, Dan. Up the middle, Escobar. He'll take care of it himself. Two down.
Kennedy, a fly ball pitcher, says, I'll take the ground ball double play any day. Save the pitch count a little bit and help you get through the inning.
And Hud, take the kids out tomorrow for a McDouble sandwich. Now that the Royals have turned to double play, McDouble sandwiches are only $1 tomorrow. And that's all season long at participating McDonald's in the greater KC, St. Joe, and Lawrence locations.
I just might. Got a man there.
Shallow right field, and Paulo runs it down. So the Angels get their first base runner, but Kennedy has still faced the minimum thanks to the double play off the bat of Revere. And the Angels. School Day at the K, presented by Price Chopper and hosted by the Fox 4 Weather Team, is coming up, where students and teachers will learn about Kansas City weather and then watch the Royals. They'll take on the White Sox that afternoon at 1:15. Thursday, May 4th, the presentations on the field begin at 10 a.m. And if you'd like more information, go to Royals.com/School Day. Paulo Orlando takes a changeup for a strike. The Angels have had really no scoring opportunities against Ian Kennedy. The Royals have had opportunities against Tyler Skaggs. Pennington throws out Paulo. Royals had 2 on, 2 out in the first, 2 on, 1 out in the second, leadoff walk in the third. But Skaggs has really buckled down with men on base. And no score in the bottom of the fourth.
Yep. He's done a nice job. When the runner is getting scoring position, he's been good, especially with 2 outs. In Skaggs' career, he's only given up a 167 opponent average with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, and that's been a sore spot so far for the Royals this year. Being able to get them in, they've had a couple of 2-out opportunities.
0-2 on Eske.
Nice idea. Whole key to getting that bunt down is got to wait, especially when it's a breaker. You got to really wait on it. Okay, Eske. He's taking a little peek down the line, seeing, okay, yeah, let me see. I think I can drop one down.
Slow breaking ball that hardly reached home plate. And Skaggs has 7 strikeouts already. He has struck out 4 of the last 5. Remember, if you can't catch a game on TV, you can stream games live on your mobile device. Just download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Royals. Two down to Christian Colon. Foul tip, 0-1. CC walked with 1 out in the second inning. Well, he's got that pitch working today.
Yep, he's got a rhythm down now, and the confidence is there. Takes his hands all the way over his head. Conventional style windup. Back in the old days, they used to do this. That's to distract the hitter and to get a little momentum going. Now, easy inning. Wow.
2 more strikeouts, and now he struck out 5 of the last 6. Fifth inning, And it is time for our sprint trivia question. Who are the 5 players with the most home runs in baseball since 2010? Well, let's start with the guy on your screen.
Okay.
And how about the guy that hits in front of him? Well, no, he didn't start till 2012.
How about Bautista?
Okay. How about Encarnacion? 2 more, Hud.
Okay.
1-1 on Pujols. He grounded out to Cuthbert at third in the second inning. Mark Teixeira. There's going to be a trick one in there, like somebody who's retired or.
The Orioles got to have 2, Davis and Trumbo. Ooh. Look, Howard took that off the side of the head. No Mark Davis or Chris Davis?
Definitely not Mark Davis.
Yeah, Chris Davis.
David Ortiz. No.
Very nice.
Kennedy strikes out his 4th. Take a look at our Missouri Lottery Fox tracks.
Beautiful changeup. That change is moving in and down. Got him off balance.
And now ball 1 to Cole Calhoun. He grounded back to Kennedy in the second inning. I got the home plate umpire Chris Conroy, and Drew Butera turns around to make sure he's all right. Two and one. The Angels have 1 base runner against Kennedy in 4 1/3 innings. That was Escobar's leadoff walk in the 4th, but then he was erased when Revere grounded into a double play. So Kennedy has faced the minimum, and the count is 2-2.
Yep, Kennedy is looking good. He's doing his thing. The Angels and the Rangers, the only 2 opponents he's not beaten, and he has a chance today if he can just get some run support. And his next start's going to be against the Rangers. So in back-to-back starts, he can erase that woe. Yes, he did.
And Calhoun continues to struggle against Royals pitching. He is 0 for 8 in this series and 4 for his last 42 against the Royals.
Well, so Kennedy's mixing them up. I like it. See, you get a check swing like that, you get a hitter guessing. He's thinking. But, you know, I mentioned in order to beat these Angels and the Rangers, you got to get some run support. Now, last year he didn't have any problem. His offense supplied him with 5 runs per game on the average.
There's the first hit for the Angels. Alex has to cut it off deep. Crone is digging for second, and he's in there with a double, and that is the Angels' first extra base hit of this series. It comes with 2 outs in the 5th inning of Game 3.
So both times up, C.J. Crone has squared it up. I mean, Lorenzo Cain robbed his first would-be hit. off the center field wall, 410 feet away. That was 108 hit speed. And I bet you this one was over 100 for sure. That hit there, but it was a hustle double, but it carried Alex into the gap. Excuse me, it was 113 hit speed. So he hit that one even harder than he did the first one.
Wow.
And Eske, he missed it. I'm not shocked. It was his hit to his 2 steps to his left, but at that velocity, coming at you like that, you barely have a chance to just react at all.
0-1 on Espinosa, who has hit well this year with runners in scoring position. Tied for the league lead in RBIs, and going up against a pitcher who normally buckles down with runners in scoring position. Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. Last year, Ian Kennedy in the American League had the 4th lowest opponent's batting average with a runner in scoring position. Did he go? Nope. And over a longer stretch, Ian Kennedy, it wasn't just last year, but it's been several years now that Kennedy has been among the elite of knocking down hitters with a runner past first base. Two and one. He went around.
Very nice breaker.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
He's got him looking for heaters. You know, we told you that Kennedy throws about 65% fastballs. So that's a pretty good majority of pitches. So the hitters are looking for that. And then he buries that one down low and gets a commitment.
Now they're going to talk over the 2-2 pitch. So if you go back to 2011 and you start looking at the best pitchers in the game when the opponent has runners in scoring position, there are only 5 who have been better than Ian Kennedy. But look at the names: Clayton Kershaw, Felix Hernandez, Max Scherzer, Cole Hamels, Madison Bumgarner. It's a pretty good group to be included in,
I'll say. Ooh,
and he got the strikeout. So Kennedy has struck out 6. He has allowed 1 hit in 5 innings and only 2 base runners. Kennedy and Tyler Skaggs. We have no runs in 4.5 innings, only 4 hits. Skaggs has struck out 8, including 5 of the last 6. Ian Kennedy just struck out the side. He has struck out 6 in his first 5 innings, and now Skaggs back to work and throws down and away to Drew Butera. We welcome in Jeff Montgomery, and Dayton Moore raised some eyebrows during the offseason when he said this is going to be the best starting rotation the Royals have had during this run. And when I say the run, we'll go back to 2013 when the Royals finished 10 games above 500, and it's early, but he's right so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I think looking at the way these guys have locked up today, both starting pitchers doing a great job, but overall these Royals starters, every game out, they've given themselves a chance to win, their team a chance to win a ball game, and that's all you can ask for. You're not going to win a ball, but you like to have the chance.
Butera flies out to Calhoun in right field. Drew is 0 for 2. And the effect that has on the bullpen too, not just pitching well, but giving the Royals some innings.
Yeah, anytime you can get into the 7th and 8th inning, you provide relief for the relief corps, because you ask fewer innings from them. Those guys are going to be stronger, they'll be fresher. If you go back to the last few years, we know the Royals have said, hey, we know our bullpen's going to have to carry us a lot the first half of the season, and maybe the second half the starters will build up. And fortunately this year the starting pitchers have come out of the gate getting deeper into games.
And what we're seeing here for the most part is basically pitchers missing bats. That's the whole key. That's the whole key for a pitcher. You want to miss their bats.
Well, tremendous asset to have when you can go and miss that bat when you need to, especially you get into critical situations. We've seen the Royals pitchers make some huge pitches in some really big situations, both out of the pen and the starting rotation.
The way this one's going, I think a long ball is going to determine the outcome.
Yeah, I don't think we can expect a series of 3 hits in 1 inning. 9 strikeouts. Tyler Skaggs has tied his career high, and he's done it in 4 2/3 innings. And look at all the called third strikes. The last 5, or of the last 6, 5 have been called third strikes.
Well, you know what? He's feeling a lot like Kennedy. Pressure to stop their losing streak, Kennedy's to continue ours. That's the deal is there, and he's doing it. He's keeping them off balance, and he's taking up right where he left off in July last year when he shut the Royals down last year here.
Yeah, I really like his ability to get both left-handers and right-handers out. He's not a guy that's just effective against the lefties.
No, and I like how he uses his full windup.
Does it remind you a little bit of Chuck Finley in that Angels uniform?
He does. He does. Finn was a big guy like him. Finn wouldn't come over the top with his windup though, but he had similar length to his legs and arms.
Great spot.
He's going to create a little deception and get a little momentum going. It's all about being north and south. You don't want to be east and west, and he does a nice job on going from second base toward home plate.
2-2. Royals had opportunities early, not great opportunities, but they had 2 on, 2 out in the first, 2 on, 1 out in the second, and a leadoff walk in the third. And now Skaggs has set down the last 8 Royals, and 6 of those 8 have been strikeouts.
Yeah, and going back to those first 2 innings, Ryan, it's like how many times we've said, if you're going to get a starting pitcher, you want to get him early in the game. You let him get settled in, he's going to find a way to make it fairly easy.
Close but out. So 9 straight set down by Skaggs, and at the end of 5, no score. Shot at our trivia question, and now Monty can help us out. Sprint trivia today. The 5 players with the most home runs in the major league since 2010. We have Albert Pujols, Jose Bautista, Juan Encarnacion, Miguel Cabrera.
Yep. One more, Monty.
Edwin Encarnacion.
Gonna stump this chump.
What about Adrian Beltre? No. Nelson Cruz.
Oh, man.
Good one. I guess David Ortiz. I thought there was going to be a trick question in there, like, you know, someone who's retired, like Fielder or Ortiz or Ryan Howard or something like that. But Ortiz was 6th on the list. Pennington struck out looking in the 3rd inning, and now he strikes out swinging in the 6th inning. Kennedy has struck out 4 of the last 5 hitters he has faced.
Honey, I was sharing with our audience about how the only 2 teams he hasn't beaten in his career are the Angels and the Rangers, and he has a chance to do that in back-to-back starts with at least 4 starts. Okay. Last year, the Royals offense supplied him with 5 runs of support per game on average. This year, only 1. So the offense is going to have to help him today.
Seems like every year there's that one guy that pitches on the wrong day, and at least early, it's been Ian Kennedy.
The bad luck dude. Every team has one every year.
And if you look at both of his other starts, he had that one bad inning in both games that really kind of did him in. The Chris Davis home run on the, what was it, 3-0 pitch?
3-0 pitch to the opposite field. Yeah. And I know, you know, that, yeah, Chris Davis, who had 42 home runs last year, it's 3-0. But, you know, even if you throw one right down the middle of the plate, it's still pretty hard to hit a home run.
Well, no doubt.
This isn't wiffle ball in the backyard where, you know, you only have to hit it 75 feet over your neighbor's fence to get a home run. I mean, that's still a long way in this ballpark.
And opposite field from a right-handed batter. I think I can count on one hand how many I've seen in the 6 years I've been here. Not many.
Guys, I remember back in my day of playing, there were only maybe a couple right-handed guys, Bo Jackson and Danny Tartable, that could consistently hit the ball out the opposite field in this ballpark. Not a lot of guys could do that. And as a pitcher, knowing your ballpark, pitching to your ballpark, and you get a situation like he was in with Chris Davis, you throw him a fastball, even if it's, you know, middle away, he's got a lot of work to do. Now, the wind was blowing out hard to right field, but still, you get a little help, and it's hard to do that even during batting practice.
Cuthbert in the hole, keeps his balance, throws low, and Hosmer bails him out. So just like last night when it was Moustakas and Hosmer, good plays on both sides of the diamond.
Oh, man. Quick reflexes, and man, can Hosmer dig.
Very good day. 6 scoreless innings, and he's allowed 1 hit. Offense. It's our Sonic Slam inning, and our contestant is Jeff Swift from Kansas City, Missouri. The Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning. Jeff wins $200. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Jeff wins 25 grand from Sonic and the Royals. Tyler Skaggs has struck out 9 in 5 innings. He actually got his 9th after 4 2/3 innings, and that ties his career high. He has allowed 3 hits and 2 walks. And he has set down the last 9 Royals with 6 strikeouts over that stretch. And had a fastball with some cutting action to it.
I hear you guys talking all the time about the contagious effect of passing the baton and how important for these Angels coming in with their starting rotation really scuffling was Matt Shoemaker last night after a wobbly first inning or 2, settling down and then passing the baton to Skaggs today.
Espinosa in the dirt, and Crone digs it out with a backhand. Yeah, this Angels rotation was already a huge question mark going into the season, and they have really struggled. I mean, they have really struggled. Shoemaker scuffled in the first inning, but ended up only giving up 1 run and gave up 2 over 5 1/3 innings. But Mike Scioscia on the left, pitching coach Charles Nagy on the right, they needed today, or at least up to this point today, from a starter. As Pennington makes the play, the Angels starting rotation as a group has an ERA over 6. Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Girls on the Run in their dedication to empowering young girls and instilling confidence through running. You can learn more about how you can get involved as a volunteer or participant at the upcoming Girls on the Run 5K in your area by visiting foxsportsupports.com. You know, we touched on this last night, and now that we have you, Monty, I mean, it's one thing for the Angels rotation to be struggling because, as I said, that was an area of concern before the season started. But how about the Indians starting rotation? Their ERA is 6.8. That's music to the Royals' ears.
Well, that's obviously been a real strength of the Indians over the last few years, but they've not been healthy. And I think looking at Corey Kluber, he won yesterday. He beat Verlander, who got knocked out early in the game. But you know, those 3 games he started in the World Series, what kind of lingering effect will that have on him physically this year? And so far, not so good.
Escobar cuts it off on the left side. Cuthbert is out. So are the Royals. That was a 9-pitch 6th inning for Skaggs, and now he's set down the last 12 Royals. to you by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram. Brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods retailer of the Kansas City Royals. Well, it's not going any better out in the Little K. No offense anywhere at the Truman Sports Complex today.
They're putting them in the bucket. But the bunnies are here.
Ben Revere takes a little bit outside. He is 0 for 2. Ian Kennedy has allowed 1 hit and 2 base runners in 6 innings. A leadoff walk to Escobar in the 4th and a 2-out double to Crone in the 5th. He has struck out 7 in 6 innings, and his counterpart Tyler Skaggs has struck out 9 in 6 innings. Right center field, the wind will knock it down some, and Paulo Orlando makes the play. 1 away in the 7th. Elsewhere, as we look at the Panera scoreboard, boy, Toronto, man, 2-9 going into today, and they've gotten beaten up by the Orioles. Detroit in front of Cleveland. Alex Avila back with the Tigers. It's a 2-run home run. Colorado will be at San Francisco. The Giants will be here beginning on Tuesday for a quick 2-game series. And Minnesota, with a record of 7-4, is home against Chicago. Madison Bumgarner, by the way, is scheduled to pitch on Wednesday right here at Kauffman Stadium.
Yeah, first appearance by the Giants since that 7th game.
2-0 on Mike Trout.
Monty, I was telling Ryan the other day, you know, I hope our fans will acknowledge Baumgartner and what he did against us, and cheer him and clap for him. Maybe not cheer him is not the word. Clap for him in appreciation for his skill and his talent for what he did to us. Because look, if it wasn't for him, we might have back-to-back World Series here.
Well, good luck with that one. I'm not so sure how that's going to go.
Come on, Holtz, you got to clap for the guy. Let's go. Don't boo him. Why would you boo him?
I think we'll clap for him when maybe Bruce Bochy takes him out for 4 1/3 with, you know, crooked numbers on the board. That was some kind of performance, though.
It was.
Oh,
now, 2015 helps get over 2014. Doesn't mean the players or any of us are going to completely get over 14, but 15 certainly helped. But we'll never see anything like that again.
I just remember
that name. Sorry, Mike. That name will come up for a long time when you start talking about great World Series performances.
Well, I remember all the hype and talk about the fact that he was going to be available in the bullpen, and the fact that he got in the game. I'm thinking, well, that might be a good thing for the Royals, but I was certainly wrong on that one. He was nails.
Best story I heard was that when he walked out of the bullpen and came through the gate, he turned around, and I'll give the Easter Sunday version of this with some kids watching, but basically he told everyone else, sit down, nobody else is pitching tonight. That's the second time that Kennedy has struck out Mike Trout, and now Kennedy has 8.
I don't think Ian Kennedy could have put it in the glove any better. That was just perfect.
Man, look at the little hair on that pitch there, a little tailing action. Four-seamer. It appears like it rises, and it caught the zone, and Mike, you got to go.
I mentioned that Tyler Skaggs has tied his career high with 9 strikeouts today. Kennedy has struck out 12 for his career high, and he's done that 5 times. Pujols is struck out and grounded to third. 1 ball and 1 strike. The way Kennedy and Skaggs are pitching today, keep looking down at the field and wondering where the extreme shadows are, because that's the way the hitters are going right now against those guys. There are no shadows, and yet Kennedy and Skaggs have just been overwhelming on the mound today.
Yep, hitting their spots.
Would love to see Ian Kennedy find a way to get back here and sit Albert Pujols down. I get a feeling that at some point, maybe in the 8th or 9th inning, someone might come off the Royals bench and win this game for them. One swing the bat.
Got a moose call?
It's kind of what I'm thinking.
That is Kennedy's second walk. He is at 91 pitches. Skaggs is at 89 pitches. And now Ned and Dave Eiland are discussing where Kennedy is right now, looking at his pitch count. How effective is he? Do they want to get somebody warmed up in the bullpen? 2 down in the 7th inning, by the way. It's a pretty impressive pitch count this late in the game. Cole Calhoun with a runner at first, 2 down. On the ground to Colon. A flip to second, and Ian Kennedy has pitched 7 scoreless innings, allowing just 3 base runners.
Can't ask any more than that, huh, Monty?
Hey, you got to be impressed. Like the way he's going at it.
Take the baton and run with it, Ian.
And on this Easter Sunday, we will stay here and go down to the field and hear God Bless America, which will be performed today by Joshua Watson.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. Oh, God bless America, my home sweet home. Oh, God, please bless America, my home sweet home.
Wrong.
Ian Kennedy is at 92 pitches, and there is nobody near the mound in the Royals bullpen. Here are the pitching matchups beginning on Tuesday. A smash and a nice play at third by Escobar. Paulo Orlando is 0 for 3. Matt Cain against Jason Hamill on Tuesday. Dave Holtzman can't wait for that, because for the first time in Major League history there will be a Cain matchup. And then Madison Bumgarner against Jason Vargas, who has outpitched Madison Bumgarner so far this year. Coverage beginning at 6:30 for both days. And the Giants had an injury. Jarrett Parker will be placed on the disabled list today. Broken right clavicle. He crashed into the wall during yesterday's game against the Rockies. Our University of Kansas Health System injury report. Buster Posey is also on the disabled list with a concussion after he was hit by a pitch. I think he is scheduled to come off, and there's some talk about him possibly being the designated hitter for that series. 2-1 on Eske. He has one of the 3 hits against Skaggs. Tyler Skaggs is now set down 13 in a row. 2-2.
I like the years the Royals play the Western Division National League teams. We see a lot of the East just based on the fact they're in that time zone. We see a lot of their highlights. You hardly ever see the guys from the West because of the delay.
And they offer some pretty good locations on the road too.
No doubt about that.
Blake Parker and the left-hander Jose Alvarez, who gave up the home run to Mike Moustakas in the 8th inning last night. Eske, a 2-hit game, both hits to right field, and the Royals have their first base runner since Cain's leadoff walk in the 3rd inning.
Wow, there you go. Sit on one or the other. Basically 2-pitch pitcher. Tyler Skaggs been keeping the Royals off balance, doing exactly like he wants, using all areas of the strike zone. A little bit effectively wild, as sometimes you'll say. He's just got a couple of walks today, which is not too bad. See if they can get the line moving on him here.
This is pitch number 97, and that's significant because Tyler Skaggs, since coming back from Tommy John surgery in the middle of last year, has not thrown more than 97 pitches in any start. So that's why Mike Scioscia has 2 ready in his bullpen. Good take. 1-1 on Colon, who has walked and struck out. Colon taking a shot at that hole on the right side.
Yeah, that's the right idea, especially with that big breaker. He's going to bring it in that back door. You know, you pull it around it. You try to pull that. You know, a little ground ball to the left side. Keep the hands back and shoot right field. The bat angle's better for more success in right.
A la Alcides Escobar.
Yeah, and now if he hangs that breaker, you know, you can jump on a curveball and run it out of here down the left field line.
Again, taking a shot the other way. Nice grab by Jason Vargas off the ricochet of the netting. 2 long innings, the 2nd and the 3rd, but also 2 very short innings. 8 pitches in the 4th and 9 pitches in the 6th. snapped his bat. Look out. And Cron made the play simply because he was taller than Espinosa. And now Drew Butera with a runner at first, 2 down.
I like how Drew's choked up on the bat. Tells me he's going to stay short and compact. Find a gap. Or a liner.
0-1.
Handle the bat a little bit easier when you choke up. Some say you don't have as much power, Monty, but you know what? You really do. It's all about the bat speed you can generate, but the knob adds leverage at the bottom of that bat, and you got something to lean on. So most guys are comfortable with their bottom hand right down there on that knob.
Hit hard, but Trout is there, so he hit it in the right spot, but Trout was playing Butera the other way. We have played 7, and we are without a run. Score at the end of 7 with a combined 5 hits. We've also seen very good defense, especially on the Royals side. And as we promised earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
No problem. All you got to do is just have him hit it in any one of those guys' directions. That's right. You want range to your left. Cuthbert's got it. Good throwing arm, soft hands. Pause at first. He can pick it with the best of them over there at first base.
C.J. Cron takes a breaking ball for a strike. This would be the most dangerous hitter today. I mean, the Angels have had very few good swings, but C.J. Cron hit that ball that we just showed Kane catch, and he has doubled to left center field. He'll take that. That thing's spinning and whistling into Kennedy's glove. One away in the 8th inning, and Kennedy is still under 100 pitches.
Yeah, very impressed with what Kennedy's been able to do today with the efficiency into the 8th inning, under 100 pitches.
I knew that Kennedy, you know, he's starting the year 0-2. It's not like him, and he's like, more pressure is he doesn't want to let the team down because of what the previous 3 starters have done. So regardless of whether Kennedy gets the win or not, he's taken the baton and run with it.
He's pitching to the situation. He's needed to throw blanks on the board, and he's taking advantage of the opportunity to do that.
It is. It's like an ace.
Espinosa has struck out twice, once looking, once swinging. Oh, and 2. Kennedy set down the first 9. The Angels got a leadoff walk in the 4th. They got a 2-out double in the 5th and a 2-out walk in the 7th. That's it. 3 base runners over 7 1/3 innings. 1-2. Cliff Pennington is on deck. Two balls, 2 strikes. Ian has struck out 8. That's 4 shy of his career high. Butera puts down a breaking ball for him. And Espinosa laid off of it.
Coming with the fastball here, Hood.
You know what? Espinosa's got pop. He's got a little power. If you're going to make it away, up and away from him.
Well, he got it over the plate, but threw it by him.
That's right. Yeah. Great spot. Drew wanted it down, and it was up and away, but that's a good. There's a little hole there for him, and you can see he blew it by it.
I like the life he gets with that 4-seamer. He gets a lot of strikeouts.
Yeah.
A lot of people mistake that for a 2-seam fastball, but certainly a 4-seamer.
Especially the hitters. You tell some of the hitters that face Ian Kennedy that that's a 4-seam fastball, and they'll say, yeah, right. Now Pennington. And like Espinosa, he struck out in his first 2 at-bats. 1 looking and 1 swinging. We saw the same thing happen last night with Martin Maldonado. Put a sign down, then went, I don't think so. Let's do that again. Drew Butera thinking twice, and there's a base hit into right field for Pennington. Runner at first with 2 down. MLB.com at bat is your #1 mobile app for live Royals baseball. You can customize at bat to stay close to the Royals with home screen icons, live scores, news, stats, video highlights, radio broadcasts, and more. So download MLB.com at bat today. Drew Butera looked like, as he was patting himself on the chest protector, saying, that was my bat. He put a sign down right before that pitch and then changed his mind.
Well, they've obviously been on the same page all day long, done a really nice job, and oftentimes I don't think the catchers get enough credit for some of the pitch calling they do. I mentioned Salvador Perez last night, that Pujols at bat. I don't think anybody in the ballpark's looking for a fastball, and Salvador Perez goes fastball, and it did the job. Catchers deserve a lot of credit back there.
Sure do. Dave Eiland went out there to tell Kennedy, look, we've got 2 outs here. This is your last hitter. Go get him. Let's get back in the dugout.
Well, 2 fastballs, and it's 0-2 on Perez.
What a job today. Throw him a little wrinkle off the plate.
Try to finish him with the slider, it looks like.
Finish him.
Once more, because he's been finishing off hitters all day. Good spot. 1-2. Two and two on Perez. On deck, Yunel Escobar. He's the Angels leadoff man. That would begin the 4th time through the order against Kennedy.
Fans are going to try to help him through this one here, and I love it. Listen to him come alive here for him.
Still 2 and 2.
Yeah, good chance this will be his last batter regardless. Love to finish him here. Don't even go to 3 and 2. Just finish him right here.
Late on the fastball, and we'll do it again. In the bottom of the 8th, the Royals will have the top of the order.
I think Drew wants to make sure that they're on the same page here. Big pitch for Ian Kennedy.
Yeah, nothing wrong with his visit here.
Just nicked it foul. The crowd didn't see the contact, so they're up out of their seats thinking Kennedy got another strikeout. And Ian is at 110 pitches. Catchers get mad when the ball goes off of their glove, but there is no skill involved at all. Either the ball sticks in the glove or it doesn't. There's no such thing as a catcher who is good at catching foul tips. Struck him out, so he did finish him off. Ian Kennedy pitches 8 scoreless innings. He strikes out 10. That's the 13th time in his career he has struck out 10 or more. No score to the bottom of the 8th. And the big story here at Kauffman Stadium has been the pitching duel. Ian Kennedy and Tyler Skaggs. Skaggs goes 7. Ian Kennedy goes 8 and strikes out his last batter, Carlos Perez. His 10th strikeout of the day.
Yeah, beautiful for the 13th time in his career. But I tell you, you see the hugs he gets in there. I mean, these guys are really close, and they know how important that starting staff is going to be to them the rest of the year. They defend for them and have made some nice plays behind Kennedy. He even induced a double play this afternoon. Look at that line. Beautiful. Only 2 walks.
Jose Alvarez is into the game. He gave up the home run to Mike Moustakas in the 8th inning last night. He gets Alex Gordon on a ground ball to second base. Alvarez, Chevy call to the bullpen. And he was the 4th Angels pitcher last night. He got Alex Gordon to ground out last night, and then Mike Moustakas homer to right center field to give the Royals a 3-2 lead, and that was the final. So he gets a chance to redeem himself the very next day. He has 1 out, and now Kane and Hosmer coming up.
Get that man a run right there, drinking that water. He needs a cold drink, but he needs a run worse. Getting 1. Low Kane, career .308 batting average against left-handers. See if we can get Alvarez. He's a lefty, 89 to 93, maybe a 94, 2 and 4 seam, sinking fastball.
0-2 on Kane. He is 0 for 2. On with a walk in the 3rd inning, his 11th of the season.
Big curve. He'll also feature a changeup that throw to righties.
Royals have had 6 base runners in 7+ innings. The Angels had only 4 in their 8 innings. Not a lot of great scoring opportunities. There have been opportunities, but one where you say they definitely needed to cash that in. I don't think I could say that for the Royals or the Angels today. Close, and Kane fills up the count after falling behind 0-2.
Man, he's developed a good eye. He used to be swinging at those pitches there. That's a perfect pitcher's pitch.
Fights it off.
Oh, and Lorenzo Cain led off the 3rd inning with a walk. The previous 3 batters, Haas, Perez, and Cuthbert, all struck out looking. And Cain was into second base, and he was in scoring position, and you just can't take called thirds with a runner in scoring position. Got him with a hook there.
2 down in the 8th inning. Today's copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Kansas City Royals. They may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals. Ryan Lefevre, Rex Hudler with Joel Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery. Monty says he was in the booth with us last night. He left after the top of the 8th, and the Royals got a home run against Alvarez in the bottom of the 8th. And so he left after the top of the 8th today.
I like it. So he's typical baseball is a player. He's a little bit superstitious.
1-1 to Hosmer. He singled in the 1st inning. He's 1 for 3. He faced Alvarez last night and grounded out to second base. 2-1. Two and 2. Sometimes you guess right, and sometimes you guess wrong.
Yeah. You never know. That one time you guess right, Put in the game.
Back-to-back sliders down and out of the strike zone. So today Alvarez gets the job done, and we go to the ninth with no score. Inning. Refreshing saves from Price Chopper and Aquafina. Sign up at mypricechopper.com to get free Aquafina when the Royals get a save, which they got last night from Kelvin Herrera, his second, and now he comes on in a non-save situation. Chevy called to the bullpen. He is on for the 5th time this year.
Well, how about getting him a win? He'll take that. Last night he came in and used his 2 bread and butter pitches. A fastball at 98, changeup at 88. Didn't throw 1 slider.
He says, "You get the job done."
Dad doesn't look amused.
Right there, talking to you. Herrera will get the top of the order. Yunel Escobar was 0 for 2 with a walk against Kennedy. 1 for 7 against Herrera, which includes lining to deep center field with 1 out in the 9th inning last night. Escobar, Revere, and Trout. By him at 97. '97 again.
You know, I've had hitters tell me that what's so hard about to pick up the deception of Herrera is the fact that he's 5'10". It's not real tall, and his little compact delivery, the ball just explodes out of his hand. Just has such a quick motion. He comes in, and Brandon Moss was telling me facing him is difficult, especially when he came up with that 3rd pitch. He said that the slider really messed the lefty up. But the slider is the one that's been getting hit.
Foul tip. Down goes Escobar.
99. When you have a fastball with that type of velocity, even you down the middle, look at 97 down the middle, 97 on the outer half, 99 and 99. You have the ability to blow it by hitters with a velocity down the middle. That's what makes a good closer. Don't always have to have velocity to get guys out, but that helps.
Ben Revere with one out. Hits it hard right to Cologne. 2 down. And now the matchup that did not happen last night, because Herrera in the 9th inning in a 1-run game retired the first 3 hitters he faced, Pennington, Escobar, and Revere, and the game ended with Mike Trout on deck. 3 hits and 7 at bats. One of those hits left the ballpark. Taking all the way, strike 1 at 99.
That's what I'm talking about.
And it's almost like after he gave up the home run to Rajai Davis in the game on Thursday, after the home run, like he just went into a completely different mode.
Yeah. And forget you don't want to get beat by your 3rd best pitch.
Strike. Woo. Trout looks into the dugout for some support. You could read his lips. That was up.
Not going to hit that one.
Close enough.
Yep.
Hosmer fighting the glare. He's got it. Herrera gets the job done. In the bottom of the 9th, Perez, Cuthbert, and Orlando. With a strikeout in the top of the 9th inning, setting up a potential walk-off in the bottom of the 9th. Coming up after the game, Boulevard Royals Live with Joel and Monty. Recap a great pitching duel today. Ian Kennedy and Tyler Skaggs. Royals have a day off tomorrow. Then the Giants will be here Tuesday night and Wednesday night. So that plus how this game will end. Blake Parker is on for the bottom of the 9th inning. He pitched last night and came on in the 7th inning. Orlando lined to center, then a strikeout, and then Mondesi lined to short. So the Royals got good swings against him. And there's Mike Moustakas, who is going to bat for Cheslor Cuthbert. Oh, 0-1 on Salvador Perez. He singled in the 1st inning after losing an 8-game hitting streak last night. He has a new one started today. Perez, Moustakas, and Orlando coming up.
Parker low to mid-90s fastball. Slider change.
Off the end of the bat and down for a base hit. And now here comes Raul Mondesi. So he is out of the lineup today, and he takes on Terrence Gore's role.
That's right. Perfect timing for Ned. No score. Bottom of the 9th inning. You got Mondesi on the pine for 9, which really didn't happen today. He's going to get an opportunity here. And Salvi will take the breaking ball off the end of the bat and dump it right in there. He'll take it, get on base. Now, which is interesting now for Blake Parker and the catcher Carlos Perez is, do we throw Moose fastballs to get the ball home quickly to help you throw out Mondesi, who will be running? Or should we not worry about the base runner and just worry about that hitter? Both of them are hot. Mondesi with his legs, whenever he's on base, he's hot. And Moustakas with that bat in his hand is dangerous.
And Parker has struck out 10 in 6 innings. And you mentioned last night, even though it's just spring training, he struck out 17 in a row in spring training.
I've never heard of that.
So he has the ability to just worry about the hitter. We shall see. 3 infielders are on the right side. And the best Parker can do right now is just come set and hold the ball and back off the rubber.
Yep, he's waiting him out.
Not running, and in the dirt. Would have been a good pitch to run on. Mike Moustakas put the Royals in front in the bottom of the 8th last night with this Jeep drive.
Got beautiful pitch there to hit. Fastball up out over the middle of the plate. Moose loves it, and he made a nice deposit. That being a game winner.
Mondesi again not running, and again a breaking ball down.
A little bit leery of that fastball so far, first 2 pitches. So he's telling me he's more worried about Moose than he is the runner. Because if you're a base stealer, you want that breaking ball down to go on. That means show him your move first. Not necessarily. He missed it.
And if you think about it, since it's the 9th inning and the winning runs at first, a stolen base could take the bat out of Moustakas' hands.
It could. So that's probably what Rusty Kuntz is telling him. But I can tell you that little sign that he just gave Carlos Perez, that's the throwover sign, and he missed it. So he went out there and tell him, hey, look, we can't afford a cross-up right now. Let's get on the same page with our signs.
And as we pointed out many times, sometimes the threat of a stolen base is a challenge for a pitcher, and Parker's nowhere near throwing a strike yet. So he goes off speed, and it's 3-1.
That's a lot of respect. 3-0 changeup.
He lost his footing there, really had to reach to get his hand to the bag, but had no trouble reading that move from Parker. So this would be a good pitch to run on. There's going to be another breaking ball. There he goes. Swing and a miss. And safe. That's a heck of a play by the shortstop Pennington. The Angels, especially right here, are going to take a look.
Yeah, Pennington, he's a good hands guy. Watches, picks it and tags it very quickly, but I believe Mondesi was in there. But let's take a look at the replay there. Catch it and get that ball directly down as soon as you can is your job. And he beat it.
And he maintained contact.
I bet he tries to get Moose to swing out of the zone again. Another breaking ball down there.
And he throws it through his legs. The winning run is at third base with nobody out.
Yeah, that's even better. He wasn't going to challenge Moose there. And Carlos Perez just got a bad hop and it went between the wickets, and it woke the crowd up here. They all got on their feet. Now they know it's time to win. Mike Scioscia loves to bring in the outfielders. Let's see if he does that. Bring an extra man on the infield. That's a splitty. Wow, I didn't even know he had one. It didn't work.
So Mike Scioscia goes to his closer to save the game. Cam Bedrosian, runners first and third, nobody out, bottom of the ninth. Salvador Perez hit one off the end of the bat, dropped it in for a leadoff single. Raul Mondesi running for him, stole second, and with Mike Moustakas at the plate, ball four through the catcher Carlos Perez's legs. That put Moustakas at first. It sent Mondesi to third. So first and third, nobody out, and this is Cam Bedrosian, who has appeared in 3 games. He has gone 3 2/3 innings. He's given up only 2 hits, and he has struck out 5. And this is why Mike Scioscia is going to Bedrosian in this situation. Since the beginning of last year, only Zach Britton, who did not blow a single save last season, has a lower ERA than Cam Bedrosian. And as HUD predicted, Mike Scioscia brings one of his outfielders onto the infield, protecting against a ground ball and a walk-off hit.
Yep, and Paulo in these situations like to stay up the middle. Now they got an extra fielder in there. Outfield, anywhere in the outfield, this game's over. Make some contact. Short and quick. That slider's his best pitch. Bedrosian, that's what he's going to throw. Now his fastball is not too shabby. He's mid to upper 90s with that pitch, but that slider is his go-to, and he wants a little topper on the infield. But with Mondesi at third base, his speed is extreme. I mean, any little chopper or any ground ball, you might could beat it depending on how hard it's hit.
Paulo pops it up.
Exactly what you didn't want.
On the infield. And a collision almost again. And C.J. Cron, who collided with his second baseman Espinoza and made the play earlier in the game, just collided with his catcher Perez and made the play.
Now that first potential collision was Espinoza's fault. Espinoza, the second baseman, has priority over the first baseman. Now in this case here, Cron has priority over the catcher. So he didn't yell loud enough. Fortunately, he didn't walk. Now they're going to put a little intentional walk on. I think maybe here. I'm not sure what they're going to do. No, he was Perez, the catcher, was given the infielder signs in case Moose does take off to go to second base to stay out of the double play.
That was Cole Calhoun, the right fielder, who is now playing where the second baseman would to give the Angels that 5-man infield. Blocked by Perez. You don't see a guy with a glove on his right hand standing in that position very often.
Nope. See him up. If you're Escobar, look up in the zone. 3 looking for 4. Sure would be nice. Speaking of 4, walk-off hits would be 4 straight wins for the Royals.
Cam Bedrosian, the son of Steve Bedrosian, longtime big leaguer and reliever. Blocked again by Perez. 2 balls and no strikes. Perez had one go through his legs earlier in this inning, which sent Raul Mondesi from second base to third.
Let's see now. Perez has really got some pressure on him, and look at the pull up. Almost went through. It almost did.
Be alive for a squeeze. Swinging, and he fouled it back. 2-1. And here, if Mondesi decided to put, or Escobar decided to put one down with Mondesi's speed,
game over.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you really don't need much of an element of surprise.
Now Perez is changing what he's going to do. Is he going to throw through or hold it? I doubt if he throws through, and I doubt Moose even goes.
Inside. Angels don't think so, but it was. So he hit the target, but Chris Conroy knew that the target was not in the strike zone. 3-1. In the air. This'll do it. Alcides Escobar completes the sweep. Mondesi scores, and the Royals win it 1-0.
Hip, hip, Herrera. Kelvin Herrera, he'll substitute the save for the win. And Esky will take the 4th time in his career the game winner. Battled it.